Rhythm is life. Rhythm is soul. I say, let's get it right this time. Let love unfold.
The funny thing is, even once you've kind of very clearly seen that what we call me is not substantial, it's not there, it still keeps presenting itself in multitudes of ways. And there's no such thing as like you've seen it and that's it. It's almost like this constant seeing through. You can't kind of rest and say, well, you can rest, but not the way that you say that, this is it. It's not an accomplishment. It's not something that you achieve and you're done with it. That's what the feeling I'm getting here is. It's kind of like there has to be this constant, like in whichever way it presents itself, almost like this constant seeing it through. I'm not sure if that's
for
correct.
a while, Rohan, but what eventually happens is, and I kind of have to say this in the third person, but what eventually happens is you become far more interested in your direct experience of being conscious, aware, awake, present, here, far more interested in this than anything the mind might be saying. So the attention just shifts off it. Yeah. And when the attention shifts off the mind, what do you think happens to the mind? It's no longer fueled. Yeah. Only thing that, look, if you want to go, looking for the source of that creates the mind, all the thoughts and so on, simply attention only. So at some point, like the more you come to see or the more you come to realize what you're not from an absolute truth's stand, the brighter consciousness becomes. Coming to see what you're not. Yeah. Then at some point, the real inquiry begins. The real inquiry, which, usually looks something like this. Oh, what's this? Prior to that, I'd hardly say there's been, inquiring into what we are. All that's been happening is we've been coming to see what we're not. Yeah. So when that we actually are finally starts to present itself, and it does, and that sounds fancy and it sounds flash and, it sounds like some spiritual wow thing, but really all that happens is you just become more conscious, more and more and more and more conscious.
No, I can attest to that. That's been the experience here.
Yeah.
Very clear kind of recognition of that.
Yeah. So, here's a mistake that we can make on hearing what I just said. Oh, okay. So I just now need to focus on the consciousness, which would be, again, mind saying that. Okay. So when that actually happens, it just happens all by itself. It's got nothing to do with Rohan or Terry or nothing to do with the seeming personal self. So it's just, for a while, it's constant vigilance, coming to see what you're not accepting an assumption, not accepting a belief, not accepting a concept. Oh, mind, the whole story that goes on, we've all got our own little personal story. The whole story is all based on concepts, beliefs, and assumptions. And the primary assumption, which keeps everybody stuck, is, oh, me's here. That's an assumption and a belief. And you know it's an assumption and a belief because when it's challenged, when you really challenge somebody on that, they've got no idea what the me is. When you're challenged on it, it's just an assumption there's a me here. And if there really was, you'd be able to present it straight away and say, well, here I am, this is what I am, and present it. And it's amazing that when we get confronted with that, we're unable to do it. I mean, initially, you'll have people go, oh, well, I'm here, I'm this body. Yeah? That can be debunked very, very quickly. Yeah? And they go, oh, okay, yeah, okay, yep. I see I'm not the body, okay, yep. So, okay, so now where are you? What are you now? Do you have free choice? Do you have free will? Yeah, I have free will, yeah. Yeah, I'm running the body and I'm the thinker and I'm in charge of my thoughts and I'm responsible for my thoughts. And okay, let's just take the thoughts. Stop it. I mean, simply stop it. If you're in charge, firstly, if we're in charge of our thoughts, shame on us. Like, seriously? Yeah. All right, I'm the thinker. Okay, so stop thinking. Just stop it. It's so easy to debunk it. So easy. Yeah. But even when you do, you debunk the body, you debunk the mind, you debunk that there's no such thing as free will, and that bloody me will still be there, consistent, persisting, wanting to be recognized, wanting to have a place.
Well, it'll say, I'm the one. I've seen there's no free will. I've seen that the body.
Yeah.
There's still something there saying all those things, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And the what really needs to be recognized is, when we say, okay, yep, look, I see I'm not the thinker. I see that there's just thoughts going on and random thoughts and I can't stop them. Yeah. No idea. I just, yep, I see all that's going on. It'll still be the belief that it's me seeing it. And that right there, that's the me that needs to be unraveled. That one. What's that? The one that says, I see, I hear, I taste, I touch, I smell. Yeah. I think. Yeah. That little I. Because it's correct. There is awareness of thoughts. Absolutely there is. No ifs or buts about it. Just that is aware of the thoughts is not the me. That is aware of the thoughts is aware of the me, which is nothing but thoughts, nothing but mind. Yeah. So it sits really, this I, me, mine, my, it sits so close that even with evidence that I'm not the thinker, I'm not the body, and so it'll still persist. It'll still persist because there's been a long time belief that me is here. Okay, yep, I understand I'm not the thoughts. I understand I'm not the body, but I'm, me is still here. Really? That's interesting. What's that? Where is that? Who just spoke that? What just spoke that? Yeah. It sits really close. It sits so close that we overlook it. So close. It's constantly overlooked. And in the overlooking of that, what that then does, it sets up the pseudo seeker. I'm on a spiritual path and I'm the seeker. Now I've stumbled into non-duality, and I'm coming to see what I'm not. But it's still, there's still mind trying to find something. That's its nature. That's its nature. You don't have to change that. It's just the recognition of that. So it's it's like you've got to step out of the mind and view it as an object. Because you can. Simply because you can. It can be viewed. Yeah. Or it can be heard. There'll be images that pop into mind and like, you're not in there. The mere fact that we can be aware of it immediately implies you're not in there. Immediately. So, the seeker is the mind, which is also the me, which is also the ego, this personal me character, or the mego. Hey, amigo. There's not a me and an ego. It's one and the same thing. And simplified from your own direct experience, all it is thoughts. And that's all